So let's discuss in this video how to make hundreds of flashcards from your notes automatically and import them into Anki and review them in the right way. Let's do it. So as you can see, you have receptor protein, carrier proteins, simple things that are very common. Let's try to take the aquaporin section, for example, and let's say it's the first time I ever saw this section. So I'm going to read it, I'm going to review it, but then I'm going to decide I want to make flashcards out of them. This is how you actually do it. You're going to copy this entire section, and remember you have up to 4,000 words in ChatGPT. In the latest version, in ChatGPT 4 that was released yesterday, you can actually copy paste up to 25,000 words, which is absolutely nuts. So you're going to copy as much as you can, let's say until cellular communication, which makes sense, and I want to make flashcards out of it. So let me copy it and go to ChatGPT. Now in ChatGPT, I'm going to tell it what Anki exactly is, because it's not sure yet. So I'm going to say, hey, you need to be nice, because when the AI will take over the world, it needs to remember you as a good person. Hey, by the way, guys, in the description there is a link to all of the prompts that I use for all of these different techniques that I use for my medical students. All you need to do is just to click the link in the description, and you will have free access to all of my prompts, and I keep updating it when I find really good prompts that give me very good results. So just check the link in the description and let's keep going. So here I'm using Anki to study. I need to make practice questions out of my notes. Anki is a flashcard tool where I can import a CSV, a comma separated value file, and it will make two-sided flashcards out of it for me. Can you make as many flashcards as you can and format it as CSV, where the question is the front and the answer is the back, and each flashcard is in a new line, and post in the notes. Now it's going to give you a lot of questions that you can find from the notes themselves. It's really important to say things like, please don't include any information anywhere else, please rely only on the information from my notes, because sometimes it invents things. So it's really important to narrow it down and make sure that it only knows the material from your notes. Now it gave me 6 questions. Now you can ask it, that's not what I meant. Please now format it where the question is in one column of the CSV and the answer is the other one, the second one. Now, as you can see, it gave me a CSV, which is comma separated value. If we zoom in a bit, you will see over here that what are aquaporins, comma, and then you have the definition. Aquaporins types, comma, which is the back of the card, and then you have the types. Carrier proteins, comma, and then you have the type. You can make so many flashcards out of it, and it saved me so much time just making flashcards from these dry facts that it's pretty insane. Now it gave me everything, and I only took a very specific and small part of the text. This is why it only gives me 6 flashcards. Imagine you are taking 20 pages, for example. So let's take this text, and now we are going to make a text file, new, and Anki example. So I'm going to create a text file, and in my text file I'm going to copy everything and save it as, and then I'm going to rename it to .csv. So now I'm going to go to files and I'm going to import the CSV file. It can be with 6 flashcards, it can be with 500 flashcards, it doesn't really matter. As long as you have everything in one file, it will import it. Go to desktop, I will go to the CSV Anki example, and now it's going to import it. Now it's going to ask me a few questions, very important questions. One is the type of card I want to use. The basic one is just front and back. There are many different types, and you can actually make flashcards using HTML yourself. It's pretty straightforward, don't worry. It's pretty straightforward, it's pretty important to do, because the more flashcards you make with ChatGPT, the more overwhelmed you will become, and it's going to be very disorganized, so make sure to use tags and everything from the beginning. And deck, make sure to assign it to the correct deck. Make sure to separate them, make separate decks for each time you import flashcards, otherwise you're just going to be overwhelmed. Now the files separated by comma because it's a CSV. Ignore lines when field matches exist in Node. It means that duplications, please ignore them. And now field 1, which is, remember, aquaporins and aquaporins type, is the front, the questions. Field 2 is the back. Now I can go to ChatGPT, for example, and I can ask it, hey, can you add a third column? Every third column should have the word, let's say, aquaporins. Now it's going to reroute everything and it's going to add comma aquaporins to every single one of them, and I'm going to use it. For example, I could have used it as a field 3 is the tags, and now I have a very easy way when I go to, let's import it. Perfect. Now I have a very easy way where I go to browse and I go to tags. I will be able to see here aquaporin, and I will be able to click it and review all of the aquaporin tabs. Now check this out. If I click default and study, now I have aquaporins definition, and this is the exact text from the book I've made, just from a very simple import by using a single prompt on ChatGPT, using pages and pages from my book very easily. The same thing could have taken so long, and I did it in 5 seconds instead of 3 hours. So I highly recommend to you, use this technique. It's really high yield, it's really effective, and all of my students use it right now to save so much precious time. I'm going to upload more videos, so if you like this type of content and if you want me to show you how exactly I teach my students and how they use Anki themselves, and how they use ChatGPT and all of the recent AI advancements, please make sure to subscribe and like this video. If you want all of the prompts I use for free, make sure to check the link in the description. It's absolutely free. And make sure to subscribe to this channel if you like this type of content and you want to keep seeing this kind of tips and stuff. I will see you next time.